when you invert something, you basically change it. And when you invert a chord, in this case a major triad, what you're doing is you're taking the first note and you're making it become the last. Okay? So to invert that chord would mean that this C is no longer my lead note. Okay, now I'm inverting the chord and I'm making this first one become the last one. Okay, so it's essentially technically the same chord, but it's in a different position. Okay, so as you can see, I kept my root, my bass notes. All right, I kept the C on the low end remained, but the top end right here, I changed it. Now I inverted the chord. Okay, and that's essentially what an inversion is. It's the same exact chord technically, but in a different position, in a different sequence. What was first now became the last. Okay, so we have the root, the first inversion, and the second inversion. Okay, so if I put the G again, I go back to the root position. You'll notice now that's where the idea of how things repeat in the musical scale helps you to break down the keyboard a little bit better. It gets you away from, you know, being so confused and thinking that everything is so jumbled. C, E, and G will never change. It just changes positionally. Okay, so it kind of helps you get a better visual sense, and also, you know, audibly as well, so you can hear the change in tone. Okay, so we'll do this in a major chord right now in time. Okay, so alright, now what I'll do is I'll just take the root position right now. This is a little bit lower, this is below middle C, but I'll just take the root position in time. I'll invert it. First inversion, now second inversion. Back to the root. Okay, now let's add that bass with it. Just to get you used to inverting the chord and playing the chord in time. Okay, so again, D, root position, first inversion, second inversion, root position again, and so on. So there's that repetitiveness that happens. So with that, that's C major triad, root position. Okay, 1, 3, and 5. We're talking letters and numbers. Now we invert it. That's the first inversion and the second inversion. Now with that, when you're practicing, no matter what chord it is, you don't just practice how to simultaneously strike the chord, also arpeggiate the chord, split it up, individualize the notes. Okay, and you can learn, you know, as you go, that music is you're gonna want that flair, and you know, you're gonna want to dress up your songs, and you're gonna want to put some you know, some flavor to your songs and your music by breaking the notes up, and that's simply just described as arpeggiating the notes. So strike the chord just like that, okay, no matter what the inversion, and also arpeggiate the chord. Okay, so 1, 3, 5, okay, becomes 3, 5, 1, okay, and then of course 5, 1, 3. Okay, so that concept alone can be applied incrementally. So if you go a half step up, it's still going to be 1, 3, 5, but just a half step higher now. Now I'm in D flat. or C sharp, however you choose to term it. Okay, so, and a little trick I like to incorporate is when you are comfortable enough, you can actually, my longest reaching finger here, I always incorporate that 1 again. So I'm a big fan of using that 1, just like that. And you can actually use the 5 in the scale down here as well. Like you can put a 3rd bass note, and it shouldn't be too bad. Like, you just be careful how low it is, don't overuse it. And you can also arpeggiate that too. So you can see on the screen, just creating that movement. Okay, you can go back to C. Okay. Okay. So that concept is applied to any chord or any note that you select. You use those movements, especially you know, during your practice time. So